So it's a team effort. Jobber Nation, welcome to our second episode of Inside the Indies. As always, I'm Janelle from HR. I'm actually going to let each gentleman sitting with me introduce themselves a little bit. But before we do, we want to always thank those that are watching on the live feed, watching on YouTube on demand at the Jobber TS Podcast YouTube page. You can always follow us at the Jobber TS Podcast and also individually as well with myself, Mr. Black Wilkins, and Leo. As always, I'm going to let each gentleman go and introduce themselves. And when you guys introduce yourselves, tell us your name, the name of your lovely promotion, how many years you guys have been in existence, and any notable wrestlers you guys have had on your card. So I'm going to start to my immediate right with Sir over here.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Anthony Cole, owner and CFO of Brii Combination Entertainment. And the notable wrestlers that I say I've had on my show would be Billy Gunn, Shelton Benjamin, Leo Rush, and even one of my old school favorites, the Human Tornado. So we've had some people come through those doors.
Okay. I think the youngest in the room should go last.
Yeah, but these guys have shows first, so.
Yeah, no, I got you. All right, don't worry about it. I'll see you.
Trying to promote.
So, I'm Tom Frazier, co-owner of Imperial World Wrestling. Specialty. The artist formerly known as.
You going to spit a quick 16 for us or no?
Psych.
Maybe the end of the show.
Left those days behind me.
Okay.
Nah, but I'm co-owner of Imperial World Wrestling. Okay. Shout out to my partner, Monty Labels. We have been in existence for technically, I guess, 0 days. Negative 3 days.
Negative 3 days. They are the babies in the group.
Yeah, we have our debut show on Saturday, June 29th in Queens at Martin Luther High School. Martin Luther School, rather. So notable wrestlers, again, 0. Because we've had 0.
Who's on the card this weekend?
Well,
they're going to be notable.
Everybody that I picked on my roster is notable. But Anthony Gangone is headlining the show against Vinny Pacifico from Ring of Honor and Warriors. That was literally just announced like 5 minutes before we went on air.
Oh, so. Damn. I thought it was a spoiler. I thought it was like a hot take for me.
No, because you was late, so.
Everyone that knows me knows, I'm fashionably late to everything.
So those are headlining the show. Jordan Oliver, Danny Limelight. Those guys are going to be like co-main events.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Anyone else at the table have an upcoming show?
Yes, we have a show Friday, Brii Combination Wrestling. Summer on Smash.
Summer on Smash.
This is Summer on Smash 3, right?
Summer on Smash 3, yes.
All right, so I actually have a nice little flyer here. So I see Miss Faye Jackson, Darius Carter. Who else is on here? I have shout out to Ace TJ. Marconi's on the card. There's a lot of... Was it Joe Gacy I see too?
Joe Gacy,
there you
Marty
go.
Bell, JT Dunn.
JT Dunn, who was just on a certain individual show as well.
Yes, indeed.
That they can talk about for 2.5 seconds,
2.5 seconds?
I mean, we got a show to do.
We do.
I got some questions. So.
Okay, that's wonderful.
But you can tell everyone that's listening about, your show that you just had. Like, congratulations to you because you just did an amazing, even though we can debate about it, but you just did an amazing job putting on, like, your first outdoor wrestling show. So kudos and shout outs to Battle Club Pro. So in going into that, does the owner want to introduce himself?
Oh, hi. Yeah, that's me.
See, that was a good segue.
My name is Joaquin Morales. I hope you guys know me.
I mean, those that may be watching may or may not.
I've been on your show a couple times.
Yeah, but you never know. We may get some new viewers.
You definitely need new viewers.
Well, I need y'all to help me to get those new viewers. Thank you.
Hopefully, I'll bring in some new viewers.
There you go.
New promotion, new viewers.
Thank you.
There you go.
That's what it's about. So, all right. So, Mr. Morales, tell us about your promotion. Any notable wrestlers you've had on the card? And you can go down the list whatever today.
So let's just do the first 4 main events of our own show. So there was Tony Nese, Drew McIntyre, EC3, British Strong Style.
There you go.
Nice.
That British Strong Style show was really good. It forever gave me a friend, so I will always be in debt to your shows for that.
Where's my 10%?
It's in Chicago, actually. It's not here in New York. She lives in Chicago. She came out all the way. Shout out to Angie. She came all the way out from Chicago to see British Strong Style at your show, and we've been inseparable since then. So. Little fun fact. But all right, let's get into the show. I got bunches of questions. I know the viewers are interested to kind of getting an idea of, behind Gorilla's position, which is actually our opening segment, cheap plug for our podcast. But the idea of this episode is to just kind of talk to the owners and those that are responsible for putting on shows in the New York City area. So my first question to you, you guys, and I will start with Mr. Morales over there. Okay, you thought you was getting away with it.
No.
But everyone at the table, we'll start off with you. Describe, from your point of view, the New York City independent wrestling scene. And in doing that, also tell us what differentiates your company from that.
I think the New York scene right now is like open market. Like everyone's got a real strong chance to succeed. What makes us different is that we're not necessarily competing with anyone. I mean, I've worked with Cole a lot in these last few years. I love nothing more to see him succeed. Tom is constant contact with me. I want nothing more than for him to succeed. Like there's more than enough food for everybody to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, with the way New York is set up, like everybody can sell at any night. I mean, the population in New York is ridiculous. And if you find that niche market, we can all be great.
Which is true. Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Cole, what is in your mind, what is the current state of New York City independent wrestling, and what differentiates BCW from that kind of vision?
Well, from what I see in the indies now, from when I first started, and I've only been doing this for 3 years, what I see now is that there seems to be more of a camaraderie building between the workers, the different companies, and the promoters. When I first came in this business, nobody wanted to talk about anybody. And, I mean, I was the new kid on the block, and everybody was like, Cole, you have no idea what you're doing. And I was like, you know what, but there's books I can read. And now, 3 years later, it's like Joakim just said, he and I have been doing really good business for years. And then there are other companies now that are seeing a big picture. Like, we have AEW forming. We're losing a lot of the talent that we already had. But now you see this hunger for the younger talent coming out. And everybody's, starting to work together. So that's one thing I've been noticing.
All right, Tom, I know you're the new kid on the block, which is good.
Yup.
You see, you guys are giving me good segue keys. I cannot front. So in your mind, what does the independent wrestling scene look to you in New York, and what is going to differentiate IWW from that?
Okay, so going off what Cole said about the camaraderie, right? And he's talking amongst like promotions, amongst the business side of things, but also the camaraderie amongst the talent. I come from my own indie scene. I spent a long time in the indie music scene, right?
Okay.
So the parallels that I see between that indie scene and the indie wrestling scene, they're very similar in how they operate, but in wrestling, or at least now, apparently 3 years ago or so, it wasn't the case, but now everybody's like lifting each other up, helping each other up. Teamwork, teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
And so when I started out a couple years ago, like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, when I started getting this serious, I was shocked. I was like, wow, everybody's so helpful here in terms of in the music industry where it's cutthroat and people are like stabbing everybody in the back. It was a real crucial, fucked up scene. And I was I had to step away, and I was just like, I can't, rock with this no more. And to come here, and it was just such a breath of fresh air, because it's it was nothing but open arms and how can I help? Take this advice. Here's something you could do to be better. Here's people you could work with to, be good. And so it was good. So I really appreciated that.
So going off of that, I'm going to start with you. What actually just got you into the position, you're currently in as, co-owner of an up-and-coming, promotion? Tell us and tell the viewers your journey, like started from the bottom, now we're here kind of thing, because you guys are fresh and hungry, and I think, especially those that are watching and going to be listening to hear, because each three of you have very different stories, starting from, some people doing commentary and then some people pulling a Vince McMahon over there, wink, wink. You didn't think I noticed you did that, but you did. So tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, when take us back 365 days ago to, you guys deciding.
It was about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And at the time, I was a studio engineer at a radio station. And the guy who owned the radio station was like my mentor, one of my mentors. I have two mentors, but this guy was my mentor in music, right? Mm-hmm. But he was also a big wrestling fan. He was a mark. And shout out to DJ Mainstream, in case he's listening and watching this playback. But so he owned the radio station, and he would always tell me, he's like, I got plans of starting like a wrestling promotion one day. It's called Imperial World Wrestling. It was his idea. He was the founder. He had a logo, he had the name, and he had one title belt, which was just like kind of random. I was like, that's the first thing you got was the title belt. There's a lot more steps in between that. But those are three things I had, and like, we would always talk about it. And then one day he was just like, yo, you should start this up, because like I got this radio station, it takes up all my time. Mm-hmm. And so like I kind of just ran with it. And that was 3 years ago. So like the first year, it was me just not knowing what the hell I was doing, not knowing my ass from my elbow. The second year, I was starting to make connections. I was starting to plot and formulate and realize what I needed to do.
Okay.
And then at the beginning of this year, I met my partner, Amani Labels. I spoke with him about a separate thing. He was managing a wrestler, and I wanted to use that wrestler, so I reached out to him. And we started talking and just shooting back and forth with ideas. And we ended up just forming a partnership. We realized that, we made a good team. We helped each other in areas that we lacked. Mm-hmm. And so that was maybe 6 months ago. But it was about like the beginning of 2019. And so that was it. And then from there, we just fucking skyrocketed. And
we're about over almost 72 hours from your first show. So there you go. Like, I feel like I should have bought a champagne bottle. I'm so sorry. Next time I got you.
Bring one on Saturday.
That I could do. I could put that in my bag. I got you. All right. Anthony, Mr. Anthony Cole, tell us about your journey. What got you into the business?
My journey is sort of like Tom's. Like, when I first got into the entertainment business, I was running my own record label. I had about 6-7 artists under me. I was doing a lot of work with like RCA, Loud Records, things like that. And then when I one night I was actually chilling at home, and we already had like certain entities set up, because we did the clothing line. We started with Brii Combination Clothing. We sold about like 40,000 pieces of that. Okay. Then we moved from there. We did Brii Combination Poetry. We used to run a spot down in LES in New Eurekan Poetry Club, Poetry Club. We did that for a while. And we had a good following. Then we actually released a book of poetry called Finally Free, which did good. We sold about 15,000 copies on that, and that was just a quick release. So as it progressed, I always told my guys, like, we can't use all of your ideas, but shoot them to me, because in the midst of you giving me those ideas, there's going to be one that's going to take off, and there's one that, will fester and will grow it. So one day, and you guys all know General Romero, well, Coda now, Georgie, and my boy Flex, they called me at like 3:30 in the morning, and they were like, Ant, listen, let's start a wrestling company. And I'm like, yo, y'all gotta be high as fuck right now. Y'all calling me 3:30 in the morning talking about a wrestling company. I'm like, we got the poetry, we got the hip hop. And they like, yeah, but why stop there? Let's do something that none of us have experience in, because that's how we were. We were always these risk takers. So this was in January, and January 2016. And I was like, all right, talk to me more about it. And what they did was they said, BCW, BCW, BCW. And I sat up. I said, all right, let's do it. Let's find out what we need to do. So we had that phone call in January, did our first show in March 9th, 2016.
Wow.
And we've been running ever since then. And I'm going to give you guys some inside news that you don't know yet.
Oh, you know, I live for the spoilers.
So this show, Simone Smash, is going to be a really big show. But my August 16th show is even going to be bigger because that's, in my opinion, my first milestone. That will be us completing 25 successful shows.
Here you go.
Congrats.
So thank you.
I wish I had a soundboard. I'm so sorry. Budget constraints. But that is an amazing accomplishment because it's like, I think, first of all, I think all of you guys at the table are amazing in what you do because it couldn't be me. Like everyone always asks me and Wilkins, like, so are you guys ever going to do a wrestling show? And we're just like, nah, I think we'll stick to the podcast stuff. I think this is okay for right now because it just takes so much of dedication and time and money and your blood, sweat, tears, like all of that into doing, you know, what you guys do. So I always commend each and every one of you for what you guys do. So last but not least, my Vince McMahon at the table. Now you know I'm going to call you that off camera too.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
I mean, Vince low-key is a genius.
He is.
Regardless of what
that's why
anyone
I'm telling
says
you
right
not
now.
to do that. He's a genius.
Oh, because you don't want the
He's
pressure.
Genius. It's not that I don't want the pressure. He's a genius. Like it's disrespectful to him.
No,
Yes.
you're a genius in your own right. So tell
that's a
us
stretch.
your story about how you became owner of Battle Club Pro.
The company was founded by Carlos Aristide. I'll just give you cliff notes.
Yeah, because you only got an hour and a half.
Right, April of 2016, he hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I've been training and doing production for a company, and I think I can do this. Do you want to be on commentary?" I said, "Sure." Time went by. I hit him back up. I said, "I want to be more than just a commentator. Like, I want to be a partner. I want to do more." So he put me on his production team, and we hit the pavement together, and slowly gave me more responsibility. And as time has, went by, he's like, one random July day, he's like, "Hey, I'm having a kid, so this is gonna be all yours." I said, "You freaking kidding me?" And he sent me an official email letterhead, and it's that's pretty much how it happened.
It's your baby. There you
It's
go.
my baby now. Yeah. So that's it. That's the short
just,
the short
that
story.
is, that is beyond the shortest story. Like,
I mean, you said you only have an hour and a half.
I
so.
do, but I mean, I thought I was gonna get some meat and potatoes.
What meat potato you want? What do you want? What
I
do you
mean,
want?
so after post learning you were gonna be owner,
Okay.
what was the first thing that ran through your mind? Besides, oh shit.
How can I make this feel like New York actually is? And by saying that is, I mean, for the most part, we're all from like original like New York.
Yeah.
We grew up in the hood. We understood what New York really is. Mm-hmm. And we all see the change, and things are being different, and that's fine. Change is good. Sometimes change isn't. But the main goal was to be different. Have different components, different competitors from all over the world. But the focal point was to showcase the minorities, to showcase the LGBTQ community, to showcase there's a broad spectrum of talent out there, to really emphasize how great the women are. And I mean, the job isn't done, but I feel like I'm doing okay, at least in that aspect.
I beg to differ, but I guess I may be a little biased, but it's okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's it. We've had multiple Icons champions, Jordan Grace, Harlow O'Hara, who recently won it back, and Tasha Steeles.
Which is, a fluke, but that's neither here nor there. That's me talking as a fan.
And then our first ever Battle Club Pro franchise champion, which the word franchise is a nod to Carlos. Word icon was a nod to me. Is Anthony Bowens, huge representation.
Shout out to Anthony Bowens.
He's not only part of the LGBTQ community, but he's minority. His dad's Italian, his mom's African American. Like, the guy checks all the boxes.
Yeah, and he's been with you kind of from day one.
Day one, he was the first main event. He was the second main event.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm actually gonna still talk to you for a little bit.
Okay, fine.
What is the best advice you've gotten in the wrestling business, and who was it from?
The best advice I've gotten in the wrestling business, I've gotten a lot of good advice, but I think the best advice I've gotten hasn't come from the wrestling business.
Okay.
The best advice I got was from one of my coworkers at the school I work in.
Okay.
And he was an indie rapper for 22 years. And he, life hit him, so he had to stop. And I'm little Joe in the school. I'm 6 foot, 350 pounds.
And they call me
I'm little Joe. So big Joe is 6'6", 350.
Wow.
So Joe grabs me by.
Joe is definitely big.
Yeah. Joe grabs me by a collar and says, "If you quit this wrestling shit, I'm going to fuck you up."
There you go.
And I'm like, it's going to be Godzilla's King Kong, bro. But, he's just like, I see the passion in you. It's different. It's when you talk about this, it's
a different light.
Don't stop. What I hear most from workers is there's something special going on. I mean, I'm just trying my best to make sure the product goes off as clean as possible.
There you go. All right, Tom, since you're the baby in the crew, what's the best advice you've gotten in the wrestling business, and from whom?
I could just check my phone right here and check the recent conversations I had with these two. Honestly, any conversation I have with either of these guys is filled with great advice. But I'd have to say the best advice I've ever gotten was from Colin West. He is a promoter for Synergy Wrestling over in Jersey. And among other things, he's a man of many hats, but that's what I know him as. And the advice he gave me, it was more of motivation than it was advice. It was both, but it was more motivating. He told me, because this is when I found out that Evolve was running on the same day as me, right? And so I was down that day. I was like, fuck, that sucks, but whatever. We're gonna pick my chin up and keep pushing on.
There you go.
But he just, he was like, there's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be as successful as you want to be, because I've ran through my goals and what I'm trying to accomplish with him, so he knows what's on the agenda for me. And so he says, well, if you want to be that successful, then this can't stop you. This is nothing. You have to fucking look at that and look, you have to see that and then just keep looking forward. Don't look back and keep going.
Yeah.
Put your, get your ass out there, do all the legwork, do everything you need to do. You've been going 110%. This just happened. Now you need to go 150%. No excuses.
Gotcha.
He was just telling me there's no room to feel down, no room to feel sad, to feel sorry for yourself rather. And he's just like, I don't want to hear it. Just keep going because you got a good thing. So don't let this slow your momentum.
True. And guess what? Evolve is running on 2 days, so you could do both.
Yeah.
Like Janelle's doing.
People.
All right, Mr. Cole, what is the best advice you've gotten in the wrestling business, and from whom?
Oh man, the best advice I've gotten so far in the wrestling business actually come from the guys that run NYWC. And I call these guys the three wise men. Like when I first came into the business, they were there. They were there for me every step of the way. They taught me everything from even how to handle my taxes. And I remember Shane telling me one day, he was like, "Ant, let me tell you something. You're going to build this company, but just remember, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Take your time. Make sure you cross all your T's, dot all your I's." He's like, "I know you are so anal," because we would have talks all night. And Shane would be like, "You are so anal, but it's good because when you get there, you'll be able to stay there and maintain it. You won't make the mistakes that so many other people have made." So that was the best thing that he told me. And that's how I work my company every day.
Nice. So I'm going to go. I do have other questions, but, I like to kind of have some fun a little in between. So I want the viewers to kind of get to know you guys, too. Besides you guys being owners, clearly you guys are wrestling fans. So we're going to go round robin around the table. Best favorite wrestler of all time?
What is round robin? What does that mean?
Around the table.
Oh, God.
You the baby in the group. How you don't know round robin?
Beauty before age, so Cole goes first.
I'm going to make sure you answer every question first now because you think you're slick.
They have shows coming up this week.
True, but it's not all about the shows per se. Yes, we're going to promote them, but it's to get to know you guys.
Okay, well, Cole, how many times have you been on this show? Or,
this is my
or
first
work
time.
with Jobber Tears. Let me correct. Work with Jobber Tears.
Well, first of all, we've
hold
done
on.
some
I'm
stuff.
hijacking this. Tom, how many times have you worked with Jobber
A
Tears?
hijack would be
Couple
asking.
times?
Thank you.
Like on the podcast?
Not on the
No,
podcast.
first time. Right? Okay, so this is
First
like
time on the
3 for me.
podcast.
Oh, okay.
So I'm the vet here. So let them get their shine.
Gotta get my shit in.
Everyone gets their time.
Okay, they're gonna get their time first.
And guess what? A real takeover would be you asking me questions. So,
Oh.
which is not happening.
I'm gonna ask questions. I'm
Later.
gonna get them. Nope.
Get her.
All right, Mr. Cole, favorite wrestler of all time.
My favorite wrestler of all time is Andre the Giant.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. To me,
Whoa, that
he
is
was
the
like,
first time I've heard anyone say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
he was such a an immobile, like an unmovable force. And then I remember reading an article about Andre the Giant when he flipped over a car with 3 people in the car, and I just was like, "Yo, he's a real life superhero."
Yeah. I get that.
So
I get that.
Honestly, by far, it's one of the best documentaries WWE has ever done. It was
Yeah.
the Andre the Giant one on that was on HBO. I've watched it like 3 times.
Yeah.
It is by far a must
yeah.
see. It's just he has such a unique story that I feel like he does not get as much credit as due. So I think it's so interesting that you chose Andre the Giant. All right, I guess Tom can go next.
You know, I said wow, but I really do get that because growing up, this is my answer. But growing up, Big Show was my favorite wrestler.
Really?
So I really do get that. I get that. I was bigger than all my friends when I was a kid.
Really?
And keep in mind, I'm younger, so when Big Show, like 2005
I mean,
to like
I
2000,
love-
that's when I was a kid,
I love the
you know what I'm
Giant,
saying?
so it's cool.
And so, like, yeah, Big Show was my favorite growing up. My favorite of all time now that, you know, I'm cultured and, you know, I understand the business is Kane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bunch of
definitely.
Giant lovers.
Wow.
right?
Yeah. I never saw that come. Are you going to go see him at the big event in November? You better go see him.
Well, hold on. What?
Yeah.
He's going to be in New York?
Yeah.
What's
Big
he
event.
doing? What's he doing?
He's doing the signing for the big
Yeah.
event.
Oh,
Meet and greet.
the big event.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I got to
You
be
better
there.
go. Because if
Hell
I don't
yeah.
see you there, because I'm going for Kurt.
Are you going?
I'm going for Kurt Angle.
I bet
Hands
we'll pop
down.
out. We'll pop out.
Kurt is definitely on my list of still people I need to meet. So I was like, when I heard Kurt Angle, I was like, because I would fuck with Kane, but Kane had to be like 1997 Kane, like when he first came out. Kane, like that's my favorite.
Don't get me
Kane.
started on that. I mean, that's like...
See, like to me, one of my favorite lead ups of all time was the Kane and Taker leading all the way to
Yes.
WrestleMania 14. By far, it
Great.
makes it my favorite WrestleMania because of the lead up. Like I'll go back and watch Raw from like 1997 just because on the network.
Like from a wrestling yeah, 98, 97, he was a monster. But even like 2002, he was a monster when he had the singlet. But I'm just talking about like in terms of character, in terms of like him as a person, like, you know, company guy, never no problems, never got into nothing. He was just great all around. Never heard a bad thing about Kane. Never afraid to, you know, do the job, do what's best for the company, put other kids over. You know, he's just great, always.
Oh, you guys have some interest. See, this is why we switch it up a little bit. Mr. Morales, favorite wrestler of all time.
You gonna ask me this again?
Yeah, I am. Oh, you know what?
Favorite-
You know what? Now I'm not.
Okay.
Favorite match of all time.
Oh man.
Well, hold on, wait. I don't know. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
My favorite.
No, what you can do is go back on the John Tears podcast YouTube page and look at previous episodes where Jokey Morales was on it. I mean, you could give both for
No, I'm gonna
for
get
all
'cause
intents and
Tom-
purposes.
Because Tom asked
Because Tom,
nicely.
Tom asked, I
Yes,
asked
Tom
very
asked-
nicely.
Yeah, you know,
But okay, favorite wrestler. But then I want the favorite match.
CM Punk.
Okay.
Yeah,
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Get that.
Do it yourself mentality.
Is it still
Against
that
the grain.
mentality now?
When you know people grow. Here's the thing, and this holds true for music. This holds true for athletes. When you're hungry, you're at your best.
Yeah.
And I think in that, before he was in TNA, and then before he was in RH, he was at his hungriest. And then you lull and you kind of plateau. And then you find the hunger again. And that summer of Punk, that hunger was there again, but it wasn't fed appropriately.
No. The channels, no, they didn't connect. The dots did not connect on that.
My favorite match, probably a tie between him and Del Rio when he started day 1 of 434, and then him versus Taker, because it was a match.
That is the only match I remember from WrestleMania 29.
It was a match that I on social media, like as being a super fan, I was asking for that match the moment he debuted in ECW.
Really?
The moment he debuted in ECW, you can ask my ownership team. I was like, that needs to be the guy to break the streak. And I mean, I still think that holds true.
It's by far but like I said, it's the only match I remember. I was there. That was my first
Yeah, I was
WrestleMania.
there
It was
too.
WrestleMania 29
Mm.
in the cold. But that's why everybody said I wasn't cold. But my first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 29 when they gave us that bullshit Rock Cena 2. And the only thing I remember was Taker and CM Punk. And I remember Taker's entrance like there's nobody, like I can
Right.
close my eyes and see it now.
Right.
So I find it interesting that is one of your favorite matches.
I mean, and, you know, my first WrestleMania was 20, and, I mean, Benoit going over in that three-way.
That
It's
must
a
have been
little
incredible.
kayfabe, but at that moment, like,
No, that must have been incredible. So
no, like
everybody in their mama who was in that building had goosebumps.
Yeah.
that was when
he
Cena was
won.
Word Life.
Yeah.
Because I knew some.
they started that show.
So I low-key was talking to somebody at the time, and they went to WrestleMania 20, and they
And they ain't take you?
No.
You need to pick better people.
trust me. I've been working on it the past, like 10 years. But he brought me the John Cena World Life chain that was on sale.
So he bought you a $15 piece of jewelry, but
Yeah.
couldn't buy you a ticket to WrestleMania.
Nah.
I took my girl to WrestleMania.
Shit, I need to. Well, gentlemen out there, WrestleMania 36 is coming up in Tampa. Hook a girl up. But let's think. I kind of want to, before we get back into the serious mode, I want to have some more fun. I guess you guys can both favorite matches then. It's only fair.
All right, I'll go first just because I got mine off rip. My favorite match was definitely it was a TLC on Raw. When
That's so random already.
Kane.
Kane, Kane, it was like
By
it was
his
like
damn
the,
self, right?
by him damn
That's
self,
right.
no partner against 3 other teams and won the tag team titles
By himself.
by him damn
So
self.
that when he I don't mean to cut you off, but when he argues with Daniel Bryan, who is the tag team champ, he is the tag team champ.
Yep, that's a fact.
All right, Mr. Cole, favorite match of all time.
You know what? I stopped watching WWE a while ago.
So what
but-
do you watch now?
Well, I'm getting back into WWE now, but the match that I came across probably about a year and a half ago that stunned me, and it's not even a WWE match. It was Brian Cage versus Willie Mack. I watched
At
that match.
HOG?
Yes.
Oh
good.
my God, it
Very
was
good.
so
Very
good.
It was ridiculous. I was
Very
like,
good.
wow. Yeah, so that's my
That's a
favorite
good.
match.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
On that note, because there's an indie match that is probably my number 2 favorite match of all time.
Which one is that?
It was Andy Harner versus Tony Deppen at On Point Wrestling in a ladder match. It was, it was crazy.
Man.
Yeah,
Goosebumps,
I
right?
wasn't even there in person, but just I've seen the match on YouTube, and I watched that match over and over again. Like, it was wild. It was a wild match.
These are all good choice.
They
You guys
are.
have some very interesting eyes, because I would have never guessed Andre. Would have never guessed a random ass TLC on Raw.
Well,
from
I
Kane.
thought we were going favorite Kane match.
No,
Well, that's what
you
I
took it
thought.
there.
I mean,
No,
my
he
favorite-
just took it there.
My favorite
opened up
match-
the Indies.
My favorite match is actually Vince McMahon versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22.
Ow.
Yeah,
Everybody is so confused. That they were like, what?
yeah. No,
Houseway.
I love that match. I love that whole storyline, the whole Shawn Michaels.
See, I feel like
and
people.
God
I
and
feel
Vince
like
McMahon.
people definitely don't give like an actual like build up, credit. Because like I just told you guys, like the build up for me to Taker Kane for WrestleMania 14 was by far one of the best build ups I've ever seen as a wrestler fan. So I feel like having that story, and I feel like sometimes that's what lacks in wrestling now is that build up. But the older we get, the more impatient we get as fans. So it's a catch-22. I feel like for them.
And plus, back then, that was 2006. I was 9 years old. I'm that young.
Christ.
I was 2006.
Super old at the
So,
table.
Like I was there sitting there, and like as a fan, you hate Vince McMahon. You love Shawn Michaels at the time. It was just months of just Vince McMahon just fucking pounding it in on Shawn Michaels, just giving him the business every Monday on Raw, and then they just let it all
very similar
out.
to what's going on now. But let's neither here or there.
Yeah. And they just WrestleMania 22, they just let it all out. Shawn Michaels.
Damn,
just,
I may have to
and
go
I-
home and
Yeah,
watch
that's
this.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like, man, that's actually so random, but that's why I feel like it's always good to kind of know those things, because they're things that you don't even think about. Like, I would have never been like, oh, let me go back and watch a random ass Raw where Kane became champion by himself. Like, so all right, so let's get back. Let's jump in. back to series mode. And I'll start off with you, Tom, since you know you're kind of new kid on the block.
What's up?
What has been the hardest thing as co-owner for you?
As co-owner, or like what has been the hardest thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the hardest thing is definitely like letting somebody in. You know what I'm saying? Because like the wise part of me is like, Amani's great, Amani's super talented, and you have to like let him in, and like that's just something I had to consciously make an effort to do. Because I mean, this started out as like this was my, this was my baby. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to make that conscious effort and like always remind myself, let Amani in. Amani's smart. Amani's great. Amani's a big help to the company. Stop giving him so much pushback. Stop being, because I'm a perfectionist.
When's your birthday?
April 28th.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I'm a perfectionist. So
I'm a micromanager. Like,
well, at least you know who you
are.
are.
Know, everything that's going
that's
on.
A plus.
Because the micromanaging goes hand in hand with perfectionist. I want to make sure everything is, up to my standards. So, like, I'm constantly, like, to the point where my mind's like, yo, just, I got it. Just relax.
Let it go.
Exactly. And so I had to, like, give myself a conscious, like, reminder. Just be like, just let him work. He's good at what he does. So.
All right, Mr. Morales, hardest part about being an owner? I know it's hard to think about.
No, I like a challenge. So whatever people would seem as being hard, it's something I enjoy.
Okay.
I would say on show day, doing commentary and still trying to run the show at the same time.
So Vince McMahon. Hello.
I would say that would probably be
because you're wearing two different hats.
So yeah, because we're fans. I don't want to miss the action, and then like I fell in love with doing commentary.
Yeah.
But like
how did you fall in love with commentary?
I mean, because I love sports, so like play by play. Like you've been in my car. I don't listen to anything but
nothing but goddamn
sports radio.
I
love.
And you would think that it is like 6 o'clock in the morning every time you're in this man's car, and it'd be like 10 o'clock at night. Like why?
But see, because I feel like communication is so huge everywhere. Like
true.
So being able to communicate and convey from multiple people's perspectives what's going on in the ring to sell that emotion, I feel like that's great, and it's a whole the same for sports. I mean, the Yankees are down 4-3, and then Aaron Judge hits a home run. Michael Kay says "see ya" and the game's over. When Billy Buckner in '86 missed that ball and the Mets won that Game 6, like just those moments. The first Warriors championship, Curry hits that 3 and Mike Breen goes bang, like that stuff.
The commentary's what immortalizes.
Yeah, it helps. It cements that emotion.
It helps tell the story.
I've always thought that any owner or promoter should always at least consider doing commentary, because promoters make the best commentators, because nobody's going to be able to better translate that vision that you have, like whatever you want to convey. Nobody's going to be able to translate that better than the guy who has that vision himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he just kind of. So I would say the hardest part of being, at least the promoter for me, or being, running a promotion, I want to be able to do everything. So if I've got to run music, I can run music.
And you can't do everything.
If I want to build the ring by myself, I will try. If I want to do commentary, if I want to do video, if I want to produce, if I want to be an agent for a match, like being able to do everything, because to me, I can't delegate a job to someone else if I can't do it.
If you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right, Mr. Cole, hardest part about being an owner / promoter?
Oh man, it's similar to the issues that these guys have, right? My biggest thing is I gotta be hands on with everything. Like
Man,
I was
y'all
telling
got
one
some
of my
control
boys.
freaks. I thought I was bad.
I'm passive. I just want to know about everything.
Yeah,
Nah,
which it's not over. Yeah, that's a gift and a curse over there. But
No, I mean I need to know everything. Like I tell my guys, like nobody's gonna move around if I don't know that they moving around, right? And it's just because the way I was brought up, if you don't do it yourself, it doesn't get done right.
correct.
So I'm the guy, and my team tells me this all the time. music team, my poetry team, and now the wrestling team, they all tell me the same thing. And you got to learn to delegate. And I'm like, if I spend 10 minutes delegating to you, I can spend 5 minutes getting it done myself. Yeah. And I find I can get twice as much done as opposed to me calling you saying, hey, did you do this? Then I got to follow up. And I'm like, nah, I'll do it myself. And when it gets to the point where I feel like you can handle it, then I'll let you handle it. But it's got to be, I hate follow-ups. You know, I really hate follow-ups. Like, if you say you're going to get the task done, get it done. Like, it bothers me. It really does.
Somebody can't work in sales over here, sir. That's all I do is follow up people.
And actually, you know what? In my shoot job, I do sales. I actually do technology sales.
There you go. So, listen.
But that's what makes me crazy, though, because, I mean, to sit in these meetings and then to have the same meeting over and over, put your proposals together, and then it's like, oh, we don't have funding to complete the project. Like, are you kidding me? I could have did this myself. Right?
So, question at the table. Next question for you guys. I'm pretty sure all of you scout for your shows. I'm pretty confident that you guys have gone out, watched tape, gone interviewed people, gone to shows. So what are the top 3 things you guys look for when you scout talent for your show? Don't all go at once.
Can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I definitely
Since I already know somebody else, I'm going to go first.
One thing I look for is, in a sense, production value, but it's more in more layman's terms. It's just like, how do you present yourself? Like, do you care how you come off to the public? Like, you know, if you look, even if you're really good in the ring, you know, if your match was recorded, you know, on a phone, and you know, I could barely see it through the pixels, or if, like, you know, you cut a promo and it just looks like shit. It's not put together well. It's not edited. Not that I would go, because some people don't have, you know, the means to you know, do
it's
that.
Not in the budgets.
Right. But it's certainly a plus if you do care about your product enough to go the extra mile. Okay. And, you know, if you're, so not necessarily if your stuff looks like shit, but if your stuff looks really well put together, I like, because now I know you care. Now I know you care about your craft. You care about your image.
Presentation is key.
Exactly. Presentation is key, and that's a big part of what IWW is going to be. You know,
okay.
I want to have the most professional presentation possible.
Right. And shout out, you know what? Shout out to that video you guys did at Legends this past Sunday at our viewing party.
Yes.
Which
thank
Vince,
you guys, by the way,
anytime,
for having us and letting us run wild.
But Vince sent me the video of it.
Yeah.
For his promo, and I was just like, I sent it to the boys. I said, this is by far one of the most put together, edited, produced videos that I've seen in a hot minute. Like, I was like the mom in me was like so proud of you guys. I was like, this is so well put together. And if you guys post this and you guys put it on YouTube, I'm like, this is so good. Like, it was really, really good. And, so I can,
it's great,
understand the production in presentation is key.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, and by the way, I always want to shout out to Amani, who really knocked that one out of the fucking park. That, like, I was blown away. I was like, oh, this is so good. You edited this great, perfectly.
Oh, well, then shout out to Imani then. Let me give the credit where the credit is due, because it was
definitely
so
gets the credit.
well put together.
Because it was like a catch-22. You know, I wanted to be sure whatever I did to have good production, and then I brought Imani on, and he, you know, he is good at that. So it was like, oh, great. So not only are we partners now, you know, you could do this.
Everything is in-house.
It's in-house. That's the word. Money. It's in-house. Yeah, exactly.
It saves money, gentlemen. So, all right. So we're going to say presentation is key is one. What are the other 2 things you're looking when you scout?
Let's see. How they get around, if they've worked for any notable promotions. And, I mean, I'm trying to avoid saying, you know, their talent, obviously. You know, I'm looking to see the best, you know, wrestling talent. And their character development. I like when people are entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just entertaining in the ring. If your promos are entertaining, if you can get a laugh out of me, or if you can catch my eye with something serious, definitely character development.
There you go. All right, Mr. Morales.
Is next. Go ahead, Cole.
No. No. My show, my rules. You are going next, because you know, I always, you know, once again, the amount of work, and I feel like you don't understand the amount of work you put into Battle Club Pro, and the people you've brought up here that have now become like a part of like our wrestling family at the Chopper Taste Wrestling. Like, we have Yaya, we have Savannah Evans, like these people that we would have never even probably seen because they don't live here, and you brought them to New York. So I always want to kudos to you for that. But Top 3 things when you scout. What do you look for?
Go ahead, Cole.
No, I'm talking. Cole, don't answer. Don't answer this damn question.
All right, so what's the next question?
No, answer the damn question.
They have shows this week.
Correct, but this has nothing to do with the show.
I
This
know,
is
but they need the screen time more than I do. They need the
We're
voice
all
time
on
more
the
than I
damn
do.
screen.
Yeah, they need the audible more than I do.
You know what?
Go ahead, Cole.
I don't even know why I invited
Beauty
you.
before age. Yeah, that's a handsome
can-
man right there. Go ahead.
You know, I keep my comments to myself, but whatever.
Oh, she gonna get you.
Cole, then, since somebody want to be difficult,
Yes.
top 3 things you look for when you scout.
Oh man, like Tom said, first thing is presentation, like how you look, how's your gimmick, how's your character, is this something I can get behind? And then 2 is just like, to me, safety. Like when someone calls and they say, you know, they want to be a part of the BCW show, can they get on? Is there an open spot? The first thing I do is, like, you know, I ask them who they've been trained by, how long they've been in the business, because I get, you know, phone calls all the time from people that say, you know what, I don't know about this guy. He might not be safe. I don't want to get injured. So that's the biggest thing to me. Like your presentation is first. That'll catch my eye. And then if you're safe, that kind of opens the door to say, okay, I can give you an opportunity. And then third is, how do you promote yourself, right? Like if you got 10 followers on Facebook and 2 followers on Instagram, and then you come to me and you say you want X amount of dollars, and I'm like, well, your total social media following is 15 people. You want this much money. If all 15 of your people came, you still wouldn't be worth what you're asking me for. So it's a lot that goes into it.
Okay.
You know? So.
It's good tidbits for, you know, the independent wrestlers that are watching, tuning in. All right, Mr. Morales. Last but not least, I'm just gonna make you last now because
That's all. They're more important right now.
Everyone at the table
put your foot
is
in the ground, you get your way
important.
eventually, right?
Well, he knows he's gonna get his ass beat after the show. That's why he's being difficult.
You're
But
funny.
I'm hilarious. Top 3 things when you scout.
Can this person evoke emotion? Can I feel something when I'm watching them? We all like watch stuff online and whatever the case may be. I like to go personally to watch somebody work. And when I watch, can they get something out of me? Can they, whether it's hatred or smiles, laughs, seriousness. Presentation is huge. Does your character and your look match? You know, like, is it one and the same? Because if you're presenting yourself as one thing, and then you're turning around and doing something that's totally opposite, so it's mismatched. It doesn't make
it's
sense.
clashing.
To me. Yeah, and probably how they get along with everyone else in the locker room.
True.
Okay.
No locker room is ever 100% harmonious, but if I could get 90% of everyone to be on the same level and everything's chill, then the things run smoothly. I don't have to be running back and forth between talents arguing with staff, you know, or arguing amongst each other. Like, that's a huge thing.
Okay. All right. I'll start off with you, Mr. Cole, to my immediate right. What has been your biggest accomplishment in your promotion?
I guess I'll sit this question out.
No.
No, actually, no, I'm not going to sit this question out.
You got something really
it's
good.
so funny because I prep like day of show. Like I don't do this 2 weeks out, 3 weeks because everyone's always like, but it gets the job done, Mr. 10 minutes. But as I was preparing and trying to think, because this was honestly the hardest thing I had to think about was like what questions I could ask you guys because you guys are all, you know, in different periods of your promotion. And specifically this question, I kind of already have an answer for you, but. Because I was like, I think Tom's going to say he doesn't have an answer. I'm like, no, he has an awesome answer. But I would start off with Mr. Cole. What has been the biggest accomplishment
Oh, man.
of your promotion? And I can actually answer for all 3 of you guys, too. But
For me, the biggest accomplishment so far has been shutting up the naysayers, all the doubters. Like, when we first came out, everybody was like, somebody specifically told me this. They said, you know, Ant, you know business, but you don't know wrestling business. And I'm like, business is business, man. You buy low, you sell high. That's business 101. If you can accomplish that, you'll be good. And then, people who I thought were my friends were looking at me, smiling and saying, congratulations on everything you're doing, but then secretly saying, you know what, they're not going to make it through the first year. They're not going to have a championship. And then when we got the championship and we made it through the first year, then it was like, oh, now they're talking about having a female division. They're not going to be able to pull it off. Then we pulled it off. We did Queen of the North, crowned our first female champion.
Shout out to Faye Jackson.
And then August 16th, some more news. We're gonna start our tag team division.
That's awesome.
The tag team belts are
so
done.
dope.
They are polished. They're
Beautiful.
ready to go. So tag teams will be coming out.
Man, I love when I get spoilers here. This is so great. So
Get the leaks.
get all the leaks. I try, but some people, they don't give me all the information. Not gonna point at anybody, but
All right, fine. I'll give you a spoiler at the end of the show.
always know how to pull my tail. All right, Tom. With your first show looming, what has been your biggest accomplishment in your promotion?
Definitely the press conference that we did.
Okay.
Yeah, the press conference was super successful. We got a nice turnout on like minimal promotion, and it was just the production of it was super good. Like that, because that was the first like real test. That was like where we put everything to the test and see. All right, let's see if if this group of people we have and this idea we have, we'll see how it runs. And it ran very smoothly, and it ran successfully. Everything came out well. The whole team, everybody performed well. And it was just a real good team effort, and it was a small thing. It was just it was in the back room of a bar and grill over in Queens, but
That's all you need.
that's what the accomplishment was that it was a team building exercise and got us all on the same page. And and me and Amani were able to see, all right, cool. These guys performed well. This is where we could tell these people where they could perform a little bit better. But everybody did their job, and it prolonged some stories for show one. So it wasn't just completely that. It was a great success, and it was a good turnout, and it built momentum.
You.
What did you think?
First of all,
I was gonna say, because you guys seemed like you had a different answer.
Yeah, my answer would have been that the fact that you were having your first show this Saturday is by far the biggest accomplishment, because not every, I think when we're all doing it, when we're in it, we don't realize the big effect of it, because even with us in the podcast, people tell us all the time, oh my God, the podcast is great, blah blah blah, and I'm always sitting here I'm just little old me and with Wilkins and his brother and Leo, I just am we're just so regular, it's okay, it's nothing, but just to see the effect that we have on certain things and outcomes, it makes us think we already know. And I always tell the boys, it's bigger than us. So the fact that you have started your own promotion and then you're having your first show going against Evolve, the fact that that's happening is by far going to be your biggest accomplishment, because
I couldn't call that my biggest accomplishment yet, because it's not accomplished.
Oh no, but it's happening. It's a real thing, and at the end of the day, no one can take that away from you. So that's why I would say your show is going to be is the biggest accomplishment. Boom, even putting the little teasers out and doing the little skits that you guys do, those things that get you outside of the box differentiate you guys from anyone else. So I don't want you to think you got to sell yourself short, because I'm always here to lift you on up. So all right, last but not least,
You said you had an answer for it.
I did have an answer for you.
What's your answer?
No, I'll tell you after the show.
No, what's your answer?
No, I mean, but actually the both of you have done it, and it's something that, as a female minority that loves wrestling, and by means loves wrestling, because people always look at females and they just like how they look. I've been around, I started watching wrestling at 6, 7, watching ECW at 2 o'clock in the morning with it being mute, so no one knew I was up watching wrestling type shit. So I love the business. I love it. But for the both of you, that you guys have showcased women in a way that no one else has ever, I feel showcased them on the independent scene, to me, is each of you guys' biggest accomplishment. With you guys, and shout out to you guys for even giving me the opportunity to do commentary for your all female show, and crowning Faye Jackson, as the champion. So I was to be a part of that was definitely, to me, my personal biggest accomplishment. And then with you having your all-female show in Jersey and having Alexa, Kiera Hogan, having Tessa, having Mia Yim, like having such a superstar like spotlight with the mixture of, you know, Jordan Grace, with the mixture of Harlow, like you having, you know, those notable names, but having the girls that have been with you from day one and been through the grind with you, and to put those two together, like the show you did in Jersey, I had to drag the boys from New York to Jersey, but it was so worth it because it was just an amazing, I think, show. It was one of probably the best shows to me that you've done, that I've seen and I've been a part of. So that to me was your biggest accomplishment. The both of you guys being able to showcase women wrestling in such a way that no one else has been able to do so. So that's, you know.
Well, next question then.
No, that was it?
Yeah.
No.
Why wouldn't that be it?
I'm just saying.
You
have a few other.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, but me and Damian Garcia, is one of our sponsors, has this in common. We both understand if you want to see something done right, you have a woman do it.
As long as you already know.
So we do. So, no, I mean, Tessa versus Mia was given an award by High Spot for, like, match of the year.
Which, it was the truth.
The match was incredible. I mean, we crowned women's champion Jordan Grace.
Yeah, like, and now look at where she at. She on Impact, living her best life.
She's incredible. It was great. It was talent from all over the place.
Yeah, it was just overall such an amazing, well put together show. Like, so see, this is why I didn't want to go, because I already knew that's what she was gonna say.
So, I mean, other than that, I would say probably, you know, Anthony Bones becoming our inaugural champion.
Absolutely.
That's
it being June, it being, you know, World Pride in New York City, and him representing the LGBTQ community and being a minority and being with you day one at all those.
And that's the thing. It wasn't like a manifestation of, oh, this is the perfect time. Like I mean, you want insights. And Bones was always meant to be the champion since day one. Before he even came out, you know, bisexual and then, you know, just gay in general. Like, he was always the one. He was always the chosen one. And we've always believed in him. And I mean, like I said, what more in a champion could you ask for?
Total package minus being Lex Luger
5-tool player.
But, you know.
Get it right.
5-tool player.
5-tool player.
There you go.
From the promoter in me, because I was at the your show on Friday, obviously, and the promoter in me, the fan in me was rooting for someone else in that match, but the promoter in me was like, this should be Bowens, because Bowens was your guy from the beginning. Back when I was familiarizing myself with BCP, when I was first familiarizing myself with the whole indie scene, when I thought of Battle Club Pro, I thought of Anthony Bowen. So, like, I was just like, I really hope he goes over, because that just would be, you know, a storybook finish to this chapter, I guess you could say.
All right, we are winding down to the last few questions, but I'm going to start off with Tom. Okay. Good old buddy. Dream match for your promotion.
Ooh, okay.
Like, if money was not, because I know that's always a thing.
Yeah,
money plays a role into a lot of things in life in general. But if money was never an issue, dream match that you would book for your promotion.
That's tough. I mean, if you want to come back to me, I can maybe think of something. But I mean, I look at, because I've already got my whole season 1 scripted out, right? Of course, it's all tentative, right? You know,
subject
you
to change.
You got to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Times change, everything changes. But like, I really don't have a dream match. Like, it's not. There is no dream. Everything that I have planned to do, that's my dream. If I can, you know, at least come close to following what I want to do, you know, following my script, that's my dream. You know what I'm saying? So I actually can't say what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd live for the spoilers, but I don't want to spoil your entire season.
So with my, because that's my first 11 episodes is what I'm calling my first season, right?
Okay.
Because we are being broadcasted on Roku. Shout out to Green Eyed Monster Productions.
Dope.
So, there you go.
So we are trying to do it episodic, so definitely no spoilers. But if I can go these 11 episodes, and of course I'm taking it one show at a time.
Absolutely.
But if that's my dream, is to go 11 episodes and not have it fall too far off track from where I want it to be.
Okay, you know what? So after the 12th episode, I'm gonna personally ask you that question.
See,
again.
but you're missing a golden opportunity. So what's your dream Kane match that you haven't seen? Do your job right.
No, like it's not about
Do your
Kane.
job right.
It's
I
about
understand
his
that.
promotion.
Okay, but
There you
he's
go.
not giving that to you because his answer
Prime
was
Kane.
his promotion is his dream.
Prime Kane versus Prime Abyss.
Ooh,
That's everyone's dream.
Yeah.
Do your
That's
job.
everyone's
Do your job.
dream. You know what? You know what? At the end of this, I'll let you ask me one good question. See if you can really do the job right. Mr. Cole, dream match for your promotion. Money was not an issue.
My dream match would be Young Bucks versus Ugly Ducklings in a steel cage match for the tag team titles.
Oh, that's nice.
That is
That's dope.
oh.
Yeah, I've been dreaming about that. Literally, been dreaming about that, especially since AEW started.
Yeah.
Oh
You know,
man.
so but that would be crazy.
Man, that took me for a loop. I was not seeing that coming. All right. Moneymaker Morales.
Money Maker Morales is a different guy in Tennessee. That's not this guy.
It's who I want it to be.
This guy is Joaquin Morales or Money Morales. Okay.
Mr. Morales, dream match that you could book. Money was not an issue. Nothing was an issue. Which is kind of hard because you probably have had some dream matches that you've already done.
I've had a few dream matches that have actually come true. But
Yeah.
if you're asking me straight up,
Yeah.
I would probably put Punk in the ring with Mia Yim in 60
Oh, that's
minutes.
cool.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's dope.
We're gonna put that on the table there. let's find Punk real quick and see what we can do about it. I mean, Mia's already signed though, so it
Yeah.
kind of sucks. Let's see. I feel like we are coming down. I'll start off with Mr. Cole. What is one goal that you have for the next 365 days?
You know what? My next big goal is not even 365 days away. It will be March 20th, 2020, the 4-year anniversary of BCW,
Ooh, okay.
which will, if everything goes right, will be at York College.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah. And keeping my fingers crossed, we're going to have all Southside there. I've been doing some work with Bobby Garcia, Freaky Ty Jr., and we might be trying to put Lost Boys in the building
LB
that
fam.
day.
Nice.
LB fam in
Man,
the
I
building.
feel like
That's
people
what's
have been
up.
looking for that for
Yeah,
a
it's
long
dope.
time.
Definitely. So, keep your fingers
All
crossed.
right, crank fingers crossed, and I'm glad it's before WrestleMania because I was like, if you run WrestleMania weekend,
no.
I ain't gonna be here. All right, Tom, one goal that you have for the next 365 days.
Gotta crawl before you can run. So I'm just for the next 365 days. I'm just looking to just not lose my ass, not lose nobody else's ass. Make sure everybody's just staying afloat and just staying relatively in the eyes and just running consecutively.
Okay.
And not falling off. Just looking to keep on my linear projection. You know what I'm saying?
Only way is
Keep it nice
up,
and simple. Yep.
up,
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Handsome guy over there.
Oh, Tom, she's talking to you.
One goal that you have for the next 365.
Well, so October 1st is our actual anniversary date.
Okay.
But that's a Tuesday, and that's also when AEW has their debut TV show. So
Oh.
we obviously not gonna run there because you know.
I mean, if you were
support that.
smart, you would just have it playing in the background and still run
I
the
was
show.
I was thinking of doing that because Fighter Fest, Fighter Fest is actually on the 29th too, and I was like, is there?
Play it in an
I
area.
I decided not
But
to, but
then
I was like,
they're
is
not
that-
paying attention to the
Exactly.
product.
That's exactly why I decided
Well,
not
no,
to.
I mean, you could do like the first, or like you do like the pre-show, the first hour or whatever. But I mean, regardless, that Fire Fest is free, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But do the first hour and then
Did you
have a
have the
show.
NBA Finals on when you were running your podcast?
yeah.
You did on the background.
I'm pretty. Oh, in the background.
Yeah.
I'm not really big
okay.
on
Yeah,
NBA,
no.
so it's not really. It's irrelevant to me.
Anyway.
If it was football season, it'd be a different story.
So our anniversary show is going to be September 28th. That's the next show. And
I
with
just
the
got the
exception
special.
of Tasha Steelz versus Harlow O'Hara, last time ever for the Icons title. Winner take all, that's it. They're done
Last time,
between the
don't
two.
pull a John
Oh,
Cena
wow.
and
No,
Rock,
not for the
don't do
Icons
it.
title. Every match on that card is going to be intergender.
Oh wow.
Nice.
I like
Yeah.
that. Dope.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting on one confirmation to make the big atomic bomb drop. So I can't give you that yet.
Okay.
I mean, you gave me enough. I can live with that.
I like it.
Because not everyone can get that. So I can live with that. Before we go, do you want your one question? Because we gonna sign off very soon. So I'll let you ask me one good question. I'll take a step back. I'll let you do my job.
On a Meltzer scale, how good was Tasha versus Diamante?
I don't like Meltzer's scale though.
You want to go on a Golic scale, 4 donuts?
No.
Want to go on a Wilkins
just
scale,
do one-
10
well-
protein shakes?
It'll be 10 Nia Jaxes, 5 Mandy Roses. That's how he get down. I don't know. I think it was good. I think
I'm telling them short. They're going to beat you up.
no. I'm not. No, you know what it is? It's because I know they can go harder. For me, I know. So seeing like when they first went off and it was great. It probably was like one of the best matches on the card that night.
Best match of the week.
Everyone got their own opinion.
Then your
I mean,
opinion
but
doesn't
you're the
matter.
only independent show I went to during WrestleMania weekend, so it's okay. So my opinion is a little biased, but no, like for them, they have great chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
They bring out the best out of each other, and that's why for me, I don't want to say like that match was the best because I know it can get better.
True.
And I know that with the story that they're doing, it can go way further than
Right.
anyone can think of.
Yeah, before you guys decide to steal, like, rematch is mine, okay? That goes for anybody out there, anybody here. Don't go stealing.
What match? Diamante versus Tasha?
Diamante Tasha 2 is going to happen at Battle Club.
Okay.
When it's going to happen, I'm not
I
sure
don't
yet.
know,
But
sir.
it's definitely going to happen.
I don't think no one else. Like, come on. Who
Why-
else is gonna take that?
Hold on. I have to cancel something real quick.
I'd have been like, Tom, that's dirty. Like, don't do that. He gave you such good advice. Don't be that guy. Don't do it. But before that was a good question. You threw me off on that one. I was like, what? But I'm always gonna go for my girl Tasha though. Come on,
Yeah.
it's my girl. Before I sign off, I'm gonna let each gentleman go around. Tell us about your upcoming shows. Since everyone is about promoting themselves, I'm always about that. I love giving people a platform. So each of you guys can tell us upcoming shows, and then social media plugs and all that jazz. So I'm gonna start off with Mr. Anthony Cole, who has a show. I don't want to spoil it, but Friday.
Yes.
Friday.
BCW
Can't
presents
stuff.
Summer on Smash 3, Fandemonium. This show.
How do you wait before you? I don't mean to cut you off. How do y'all even come up with names for these shows? Like some of these names be like they're dope. Like I'm like, wow, who thought of this?
See, that's
like,
a question you could have asked. Like,
I just did.
no.
I just
That's
did.
a question you could ask. Like, what's your favorite show name of your own company?
No, but I just
It's all
listen.
right. You said that's what happens.
It's
You have 18
natural.
hours to prepare instead of a couple weeks.
Well, actually, I only had about 2,
That's
but because
So Cole's got a banger of a show coming up.
does.
JT Dunn, Joe Gacy, Darius Carter,
Can
the
he
Brii
promote
combination.
himself?
I'm helping the man out because
No.
you want to
I
talk.
appreciate it.
no, but I'm just interested because you guys. I mean, everyone has their own unique names, but you guys, especially at BCW, have like names that just are so like they pop out to me. I feel like a little bit more.
Thank you.
So I think
we-
it's interesting. Like, what's the thought process in naming a show?
Oh man, we all sit in a room and we just we pitch ideas. Like I was saying earlier, like I don't want anybody to stifle their creativity on my team. So even though we can't use every idea, I still let the guys pitch them. And then when we hear something that works, we use it. But Summer on Smash is a rather unique show because when we did the first Summer on Smash, in my first year, we were struggling, and I'll never forget this. We were struggling, and we reached out to the fans and said, for this summer show, who would you guys want to see? And they gave us a bunch of names for that first show, and we did that first Summer on Smash, and it was dope. And then Summer on Smash 2, that's when we brought in the Rep and the Ugly Ducklings. And
I've been trying to see the Rep. This I keep hearing.
That was actually.
I keep hearing about these guys.
That was actually one of the first like indie level shows that I went to after being like a promoter and started looking at things differently. Yeah, Summer on Smash 2.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, so so it just became a tradition. So Summer on Smash 3, we reached out to the fans again. It started with who they wanted to see in the Monster Mash, and the Monster Mash this year is going to be big. We got TJ Marconi, we got Jimmy Lloyd, we have Chris Quelling, and we have Astro Morales. So we got some big boys in the Monster Mash.
Astro Morales is really dope. I just saw him this past weekend for the first time, so I thought he was dope.
Yeah. And then we got a 4-way match coming up. Sebastian Cage, Gabriel Sky, Anthony Silva, and Ace Andrews. And I think these 4 guys are going to give us something really unexpected here. And then, of course, we have, then we have Marty Bell, who I absolutely have become the biggest fan of. Marty Bell versus Faye Jackson for the women's title. Darius versus JT Dunn. And then we got the monster, Joe Gacy, Joe Gacy coming back. And he's going to be going up against Eric Jaden. So this is going to be a clash of styles. So I'm looking forward to many of these matches.
Good. So this Friday in the Boogie Down Bronx, you can catch BCW, a.k.a. Castle Hill, 6 Train.
It's in the Bronx. Oh
it
my
is.
God.
I know.
I'm so glad. I dead ass would have shown up to Elks Lodge. I don't know why.
Nah. Say how Don't show up at Elks Lodge. 2050 Benedict Avenue.
So
Bronx,
6 Train to Castle Hill.
Well, I'll still be there.
Distance.
I will still be there, even though it is in the Bronx.
Yeah, I know, because you guys are not considerate of those that live in Brooklyn. I'm just putting that out there. But anyway, I had to convince someone. I had to beg and plead someone to stay out of Jersey.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But all right, Tom, tell the viewers.
Wait, I'm sorry. Before we go to Tom, I got one more jewel for you.
Oh,
one more.
Ooh, go for it.
So I want to give a big shout out to our newest sponsor, Sapphire Emerald Magazine, who is doing a bold and beautiful cover spread on Faye Jackson.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So that magazine is coming out actually 3 days after our show, and I'm gonna send it out to everybody. They did a fantastic job with Faye, promoting her as, full-figured, sexy, powerful woman, and I wanted this to be. It's so dear to me because, when you see the female evolution of female wrestlers, it's like, this is the time now. This is the time to showcase these ladies, not just as sex symbols, but as powerful bosses. And I think Faye Jackson encapsulates that. So
absolutely, I
just
agree.
wanted to give them a shout out.
Okay, awesome. Send me my copy.
What was the name of that, Meg?
Sapphire Emerald.
And I'm gonna have Miss Jackson sign it too.
Oh yeah.
But all right, Tom, your time is here. Yep. Tell the fans.
Also, I want to give a quick plug, because we actually just announced earlier today too, on That Splash Mag. IWW got it right up in That Splash Mag. It's out on the 28th, so it's out on Friday. So definitely go cop that wherever magazines are sold.
Yes.
All right, so June 29th, the day after, right after you hit up Brii Combination Wrestling, your weekend's not over yet. Then you got to come back to Queens from the Bronx. You got to hit up Martin Luther School. It's in Maspeth. It's in the same area as the famous Elks Lodge. We got a great show. It's being headlined by the Imperial Invitational, which it's our debut show. So it's 4 qualifying matches that consist of the Relentless Aaron Bradley versus the King of Chaos Logan Black. They'll be starting off the show, a historic first match. 2 guys who are not only incredible wrestlers, but also both good friends of mine. Both helped me out when I was starting out, so it's an honor to have them opening my show, my very first show.
Awesome.
Just Neff, the strategist Just Neff versus the shooter Killian McMurphy. What a lot of people are thinking is going to be match of the night. That's another Imperial qualifier. Then you have Dorian Robinson, the Cajun City Show-Off, versus the American Gangster Isaiah Wolf.
Ooh. That's shout out to my bro Isaiah Wolf.
That's gonna be a hard-hitting match. We're excited for that one. That's the 3rd Imperial Invitational qualifier, and then the main event, or the co-main event rather, is Jordan Oliver, our number 1 overall draft pick, versus Danny Limelight, making his debut in New York City for the first time ever. Never before wrestled. He's coming out of SoCal. Never before wrestled here on the East Coast.
Put that on the list of accomplishments, by the way, sir.
Definitely. And all 4 of those matches are first-time ever face-offs. So, we're proud of that. Also on the card, we got Damaris versus the Ultraviolet. We've got Anthony Silva is also wrestling on Saturday night versus Kono. We've got the Gordon brothers are in action against TJ Fate and Jordan Falco. Jordan Falco is a supplemental draft pick. TJ Fate was our 5th overall draft pick. The Gordon brothers, shout out to the Gordon brothers, who are also they're head of our Phoenix division. That's also an accomplishment, the Phoenix division, which is like our women's division, by the way.
Nice.
And so they put together Damaris and Ultraviolet. They're going to do a great job with that. I've got a lot of faith in them. And Anthony Gangone is going against Vinny Pacifico, just announced today.
Nice.
Douglas James was also announced to be on the card. Brother Greatness will be there delivering a sermon live.
Wow.
Yeah. Monsters on the
You
Horizon.
ain't gotta go to church on Sunday. You can
Yeah,
go
right.
on Saturday.
Yep. Monsters on the Horizon are going to be performing episode 1's theme song, The Wolves. So we thank them for that. They're a great live performance band. Can't Stop Adson, Fast as Hell, Watts MB are going to be performing their unreleased single, Savage. So not only do we have wrestling, we have a couple indie music performances. It's a whole night full of
Just first time.
entertainment.
This is great.
Yeah,
This is
it's
exciting.
gonna be a great show.
So as you know, once again, you got Friday night. This is a whole week. I swear, every weekend is wrestling weekend for me. So you got Friday night in the Bronx, and then you got. But thank you for being closer to my house. I appreciate you because I live Bushwick, Ridgewood. So
I had to because I live in
Uber.
Maspeth, so I had to put on for I had to give something to Maspeth.
that's what, and you did good. So Saturday you have IWW's first show. So shout outs to Tom and Imani and the team there. Once again for putting together an amazing show.
Vince Steele and Nikolai White also, who have been beefing, they're both scheduled to appear. So we'll see
Shout
what
out to
happens
Vince.
with that.
It's my other guy. It's my dog. All right, last but certainly not least.
I gave you my next show, so
But
September
you give
28th.
Okay, just in case the people didn't hear it.
But it's about these guys right now this week.
But still, once
Opening first ever show for IWW, man. Go out there.
It's awesome. Please, and this is another reason, I said in the first episode when I had, Marcus Marquis, Isaiah Wolf, and Swoop Blackman on the show, that we gotta support each other. Once again, you guys have done nothing but support us at the Jabba Tears podcast, and we, are forever grateful for each and every one of you guys. Whether it's you telling a wrestler, listen to our podcast, go on their podcast, do this, do that. So this is the only way besides always sponsorship, because that helps too. But this is the other way that I can always give back to you guys. So once again, I thank each and every one of you for joining me today. I specifically, could definitely chose other people, but I didn't want to talk to anybody with you guys. So, but how does everyone, social media plugs, anything before we go?
Yeah, I'll rattle mine off first. Imperial World Wrestling debut episode breakthrough. You can find us on Instagram. It's real simple, guys. Imperial World Wrestling on Instagram. Imperial World Wrestling on Facebook. IWW_wrestling on Twitter. ImperialWrestling.com. Super simple, super accessible. Anywhere you can find us, and you can find out more information about the show. Tickets available online.
Ooh. Mr. Cole, where can people find?
Brii Combination, you can find us on Twitter at BCW_wrestling_, Instagram at Brii Combination Wrestling, and on Facebook at Brii Combination Wrestling as well. And you can find us on YouTube at Brii Combination Wrestling.
There we go.
Facebook.com/Battle Club Pro. Instagram and Twitter, Battle Club Pro.
Nice.
Twitter, no?
Twitter and Instagram, Battle Club Pro.
Website?
The website, we're revamping that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let me know when it's up.
Yeah, but you said Friday, and Saturday. Summer on Smash and Breakthrough.
Once again,
Breakthrough
I am
on Saturday.
super proud of each of you gentlemen at this table for once again giving us wrestling fans things to do. I don't know what I would be doing a Friday or a Saturday night, but
Yes.
but thank you
It's
guys.
not research.
It's not. I don't need to. Everything is natural. Especially that's on me. Thank you. But as you know, on behalf of the Job Potato Podcast, we want to thank you guys for joining us. Everyone can once again find this episode amongst other amazing episodes that had, Mr. Morales a part of, along with others, on our YouTube page at the Job Potatoes Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, because Sir Wilkins is starting to get Twitter fingers, and he definitely helps out on the Twitter front. The boys do a good job with social media. I ain't got no parts of that. But anything else? July the 14th, WWE Extreme Rules Viewing Party at Legends Bar. Please come out and support the Job Potatoes Podcast. Really?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there too.
I'll be there.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I get that in writing?
Give me something to write with. Oh, wait, you're unprepared. Oh, man, what's the shock?
First of all, I got a pen in my bag and a piece of paper. I'll never leave home with that.
Let's get it on camera.
Let's do it off camera.
Live content.
And then SummerSlam weekend, we are cooking up some really, really exciting things that I actually cannot say as of yet. Unfortunately, as I would love to tell you guys, and I'll probably tell you guys off camera. But we have SummerSlam weekend. We have an NXT TakeOver viewing party and our Jobber Slam 1 year anniversary party, after party of NXT TakeOver. So we are excited to do that. And then once again, SummerSlam, the hottest event of the summer. Unfortunately, it's not here in New York anymore, but we are going to tear down Legends Bar like no one's business. So we do have some special guests, a special host that we're cooking up. So stay tuned for more information on that. And then also we may be doing something for 4th of July. Maybe not as extensive, but just a little get together at Love Story. So stay tuned for that. It's next week. But anything else, gentlemen, before we say our farewells?
That chopped cheese at Love Story is banging.
Why do you know that? Like,
Wait, why wouldn't I know that?
why would you know
Why
that?
wouldn't I know that?
That's neither here or there.
See, your research game is terrible, bro.
Random info. Love Story.
How about Marty Bell coming back to the Bronx for Brii combination?
Facts.
Ooh.
Yeah, looking forward
Facts.
to that.
Yeah, see. And then Logan Black, with IWW. Come on.
Yes.
Support these guys. You better support these guys.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Support
it.
independent wrestling. Once again, I'm joined with Tom, Joaquin, and Anthony. Amazing independent wrestling owners and promoters. So make sure to follow them and support everything they do. I have Sir Wilkins in the background coughing, so it's time to go. So I am Janelle from HR of the Job Potatoes Podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us. #Black Excellence. #we're out.
All right.
Thank you.